That wheelie bar will make you lean back and watch that girl walk by. I like it. I think that looks really professional. I think it looks great. We're going to hit it on Sunday and we're going to see if it holds up. We bent the original one on the last hit that we did, but really, in all honesty, I think that was more the angle of it and everything after talking with some people. These are beautiful. I love these tires. But that's not why you're here. You're here in order to see about the NR Racing Triple Jet Cheater Stock Carb and to see how it ends up working out on this Cheater Stock built up twister cam ARC racing rod, ARC flywheel, 55-pound valve spring, DIY pump, Duramax 440cc Cheater Stock build. That was a mouthful. Alright, so we built up the stock Duramax carb. Now, Duramax carbs are already built up bigger than a GX390 stock. It's a bigger engine, therefore it's a bigger flowing, wider open venturi in the stock Duramax carburetor. Along with it has bigger jets, but a standard size idle jet in them, which is kind of wonky. I'm not quite sure I like that, but it is what it is. Therefore, we have this. This is NR Racing's Triple Jet Cheater Stock Race Carb. And unfortunately, it does not have an adjustable idle, or at least that's epoxied in. But in order to solve that, just in case, we've got the stock idle jet for a GX390. We've got the idle jet that we are currently running in our built-up Duramax carburetor, and we've got the methanol idle jet that NR Racing sells. Now, there's no write-up on this whatsoever, so we don't know what our idle jet is that's in this. I would assume that since this is supposed to be a race prep carburetor, that it's going to be this. But we got the bigger jet just in case. Now, what makes this different, and why it's interesting, nobody has any videos on this $65 carburetor, is that your main jet on most carbs goes right here. This has another port for another jet right over in this area, so that you can add a second jet to get more fuel. AKA, I went from a stock cam to the Twister Cheater Stock cam, and so now my duration is like 3 times what it was with a stock cam on the same exact lift, and I'm leaning out big time. We'll fire this up and we'll show you for a sec. I know this thing's not running right. It should be easily going ballistic past 6,000 RPMs, and it currently isn't. It currently is leaning out and getting mad at about 5,500, 5,600 RPMs. This thing, before we did all the fancy racy race parts, was easily turning 6,200 to 6,400 RPM on stock internals with a stock flywheel. So something's not right. We need more gasoline. So over here, we have a plug that is in the second jet that's in this. So what I've done is I've ordered up the stock jet size for a 200cc, the standard stage 1 sizes that you run on either a 200cc or a 208 Duramax or something like that. I ordered up the stock size for a GX390. I ordered up a upgraded size from there and the upgraded size from there. This right here is borderline methanol. At 1.23, you are like 5 sizes above what I'm currently running. Oh, that's the other thing that's interesting. The jet in this is marked, and it's marked a 114, which would make it like a 44.5 in OMB warehouse standard sizes and stuff. So, not exactly sure where the 114 came from. But I'll show you guys what the Duramax carb is doing, and then we'll get this thing thrown on. Here we go, cold start. Not going to run it very long because I don't want to be upper ending it on lean out. Oh yeah, big backfire. That one hurt. I wasn't planning on filming putting this NR Racing carb on, except for I ran into an interesting little quirk here. So I noticed during my breakdown video of this thing that it had these 4 corner studs casted into it, and I'm assuming that's so that they can machine in the second jet port. Turns out one of those machined in studs is in the way, and now I've got to cut it off. Okay, leave your predictions in the comment section below. Do you think out of the box it's going to run right? My theory? I think it's going to idle, and I think it's going to do about 2,000 to 4,000 RPM perfectly fine, and then lean out. That's my theory. No choke, 80 degrees out, 60% humidity, shouldn't need it. Almost. Yeah, it does not want to idle. I'm betting we're going to have to upgrade the idle jet. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Oh, thank you. You've got a proprietary D-hub idle adjust. Well, we'll have to make a wrench for that at some point, or just swap in the one that we took off. Alright, we dialed it up a little bit. See if it'll come up. Okay, let's give it choke. I just shot something over my shoulder. That was entertaining. I don't think the idle jet's even remotely as big as it needs to be. I'm going to swap in a bigger idle jet. Come on, focus. Literally all you do is just set the edge under there and pry up, and it pops off. So you just set the edge down in and then pry straight up. Now the reason why I'm betting this is because these carbs are designed for a GX390. And that's why I'm betting that this is going to be the fix. And a 3/8 extension fits perfect to drop one of those in, by the way. Put the keeper in. Still don't like that idle adjustment screw being some sort of weird, wonky thing. But seems to work with a standard flathead for now. So we'll put it in there. I'm going to put it on the high side of things. And we'll try that. High side of things. We'll give it some choke just because. No clutch. No, we're shutting it down. That thing's running way, way too lean. Okay, so what we're going to do at this point is pop the bowl off, and rather than monkey with the primary jet, I'm going to dump out their plug that's in the secondary, and I'm going to put in the stock 200cc jet. Again, I'm doing this way because that way, if you bought one of these, you could start with junkyard stuff to get it up and running and then dial it more later. I figured while I was here I'd show you. That is where the secondary jet goes in. And I had to actually file down a screwdriver so that it would fit next to this one. And then I discovered that part of the thread for this one to go in is actually on the side of this thing, which almost cross-threaded it twice. So be very, very careful. Okay, upgraded idle jet, the main jet that came with it, and a GX200 standard main jet for the secondary. We're going to give it some choke and see if it'll fire off. Okay, should be primed in the bowl now. Let's see if it'll go. Okay. We upgraded to a Autolite racing plug, which is a 5/8. I keep forgetting that. And when you've spent almost 2 years running the stock plug size, it takes a while to remember. Whoa, all kinds. Oh yeah, wet as can be. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can catch that, but that is all kinds of wet. I think I've been looking at this totally wrong. So, let's cross-reference some numbers here. We had a 45 from OMB Warehouse. 45 basically works out to about a 1.15, 1 point whatever. So, I bought a 120, which is a 1.20 millimeter, because that should have been the upgrade for the stock Carb for the bigger duration twister cam. But what if I'm looking at it wrong? What if instead of being a progressive jet system, it's a 2 = 1 total jet system? And if that's the case, then what I've had in there, which is an 88 plus the 120, would be like 2.08 plus millimeters worth of hole in there. No wonder it drowned. But if I went the opposite direction, and I went an 88, which is 0.88, and a 90 at 0.9, I end up with 1.78, which is pretty close, but a little excessive for the 1.2 that I was expecting the stock Duramax Carb to need. But this has a bigger Venturi in it, so that might just work. So that's what we're going to try next. 88 plus a 90 in the main, 0.024 for the idle jet. We've got to prime it up a bit and see if it'll start. honestly have no idea why I had a 0.70 millimeter one. So we have a 0.70 and we have a 0.87. 0.87 is a really common stock size. No idea where the 0.70 one came from. But we're going as small as I could find in what I have and see why it does. I will take it. I have no idea where in the world or why I had a 0.70 in the mix. I will be ordering up a bunch of other jets in order to be able to try and figure this out. So right now we have a grand total of 1.57 millimeter. And I had figured out that with a singular jet, it should take a 1.20 millimeter. So, I don't know. All I know is that thing just ran so absolutely amazing. I can't get over that.